Very good evening to all our listeners. Welcome to Dream Center TV. Your host, Prophetess Trish, back yet again on the Voice of the Apostles with a program we are calling Think, Pray, and Vote. 9 days away from the elections, and everyone is excited. And this is an initiative we've taken up as a church and the apostles, and just to, participate in the time and the season that we are in. And I know that you've been following us. So wherever you are, if you're tuned in, quickly share that link. Go to YouTube, Gets of Glory, and start, listening up and start commenting and asking questions. Today, we are not interviewing the mayor. We are interviewing the parliamentarians, the people who are aspiring as MPs. Praise the Lord. And I'm just so excited because this evening, we have one of our very own who's standing in Bwana Mkubwa, and this is no other than Herbert Mwale. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Trish, and thank you very much for hosting me today. And good evening to all the viewers, wherever you are listening from. Thank you very much. It's a great privilege for me to be here.
It's good to have you on the Voice of the Apostles this evening, and I'm sure we are going to get drilling and getting excited. Wherever you are, people, tell everybody, tell them, just get them connected. Dream Center is back again, live on the Voice of the Apostles. We are here and we're kicking it. This time it's not the mayor, get it in your head. It's the parliamentarians, the people aspiring as MPs. And get ready for any questions you have in that line, any comments that you have. Get sharing, get talking as we begin to have a conversation with Honorable. It will be good to have every one of you participate wherever you are watching us from, and just ask any kind of question you want to ask in relation to his standing. Honorable Herbert, you are welcome to this program, and we want to quickly just get into knowing who Herbert Mwale is. So we're going to allow you to give us a quick introduction on who you are, your age, your marital status, your tribe, your education. So when people see, they go there and they see Bwana Mkubwa and they see what should they look for, who is Herbert. So you are basically just telling people who you really are and just a little bit of a background of who you are. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, viewers. Yeah, my name is Herbert Mwale. I'm commonly known in the constituency as Americano.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
a lot of people know me as Americano.
Americano.
I mean, I think it's been a great privilege to work with the people of Bwana Mkubwa, and I've known the constituents for quite some time, and most of my families have been living there, though I've been
just thought you could do? Was there an inspiration, a motive behind you wanting to do this? What really led you to want to stand as a member of parliament?
Well, I have a great vision for Zambia. I mean, I've been looking at Zambia from a distance. Obviously, a lot of things have been going wrong here in Zambia, and there are a lot of us in the diaspora who've been following politics here in Zambia, and things haven't been going very well. But I think what clinched it, for me to leave the politics, following politics in Zambia and the diaspora, and come back to Zambia to make a difference was, when my mom died in 2020 in September. I had to come to Zambia at that stage. But when I came to Zambia for the funeral, it was like a lot of things, just hit me like a big wet fish on my face. So I went to ShopRite and I went to Pick and Pay. I went to Choppies, to buy food for the funeral. But the price of food was just that unimaginable. So if you have two funerals in a family within a short period of time, I mean, I don't know how people are surviving in this part of the world. Then while I was here in Zambia after burying my mom, I had to go around to just Proverbs to find out more how people were living. So we made TV programs. We visited a number of places, Lusaka, Chiwombo, and here in Ndola as well. So and I interviewed a lot of people. So my findings were frightening because at the end of the day, the price of food was just imaginable, and I compared it to how much come to the supermarket and buy cheaper food, affordable food, rather than the prices which were being charged in ShopRite, Choppies, and Pick and Pay. So we set up a supermarket, but the only difference was this supermarket was going to run 24 hours a day. So a lot of people, I received a lot of criticism. Americano, what are you smoking? Share it with us. We can't have a supermarket open 24 hours a day. And then, there we are. We opened the supermarket, it's running well. In 6 months' time now, going to 7 months, we're still running. Thank God for that.
Okay. So people call you Americano. What's the chemistry behind you being called Americano? Does it have a catch? Is there any logic, or they just love to call you Americano?
Well, I mean, people just, when I was ushered in Bwana Mkubwa, I came there and I came to Bwana Mkubwa under the umbrella of the UPND. When I was taken there, just a great vision, I had, and I started sharing my stories and what I wanted to do for the people of Bwana Mkubwa, and the fact that I have lived most of my adult life abroad just earned me that name automatically. I don't know where the name comes from.
Okay, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm looking at your political background. You are pushing for a member of parliament, and that is relatively quite a position. And probably the question one would ask is, do you have any political background? Why are you? Where are you coming from? What are your traces? I think that that is a very critical question to anyone. It's like you are applying for a job and they want to know the experience you have. Are you qualified for the job? That's literally the question that we are asking now. Do you have any political background, or is it you come to the funeral, a situation happens, and then you're like, boom, now I'm going to stand as as a member of parliament? Is there a history behind your political background?
Thank you very much, Trish. Yes, of course. I mean, there's a great history to my political background. I mean, I started following politics in the United Kingdom. When I graduated from London School of Accountancy, I went to work for the British government. I mean, that was my big job. So very quickly, I was ushered in the Department of Health and benefits. So I started learning from the British government how things work within the government. Then I had to move around different departments in the government. So that built me in to be a better politician. I think, I was just like an apprentice. So coming to Zambia here, I've got a great CV, working with successful governments in the world. And the knowledge I've learned is what I want to apply in Mkubwa and develop the area, which has been in decline since the days of the late President Kaunda. Most industries are closed. There's a lot of unemployment. There are health problems, roads, everything is a mess. Water. So I'm here to fix these things. I think the people of Mkubwa have got a good ambassador, and I'm going to get the job done for them. Thank you.
Awesome. And I see that you are standing on the independent ticket. Is it that what's the reason why you're standing on independent? Are there no parties that you can work with, or is there a reason why you've chosen to stand as an independent?
Well, I mean, there's a history to why I'm standing as an independent. If I can just point the viewers, like when I came to Zambia, UK, I've been working in the diaspora with the UPND. Then I came to Zambia. I wanted to stand as an independent, but I met great colleagues there from the Zambian branch who said, why do you want to stand as an independent? So I was told to come back in the party, and they didn't have candidates in Mkubwa where I wanted to stand. So, they took me on the wing, and I went to Mkubwa. But what the party didn't expect is that they were going to get a great ambassador who was going to be questioning things and making sure things are running well. So I went there and were campaigning through the wards, and I think my colleagues there in Mkubwa for taking me around and explaining the political scene in Zambia. So anyway, I had to come out of the this UPND. Why? Because during the adoption process, we had so many problems. We had a lot of corruption and bribery within the structures. And being in the diaspora, these are the things I've really, really fought all my life against. And I never thought this was a major problem in Zambia, but I think all the parties were affected. So I had to make a decision. Okay, did I want to stay in the party or not? Then I created so many enemies because I took all the corrupt officials to the police station, and the police were just like, wow, you're one family. Why don't you sort this out within your party? I said, well, you are the policeman. If anybody commits a crime, you're supposed to investigate it and bring them before the court, So this is how I decided to be an independent, following advice from my colleagues in America. I said, look, just go independent. You want to work for the people, just the same thing. We'll support you. So I'm privileged to stand as an independent. Thank you very much.
Awesome. So the main reason why you could not work with the previous parties was you just couldn't agree in terms of philosophies, and the things they were doing were contradicting to some of your beliefs, if I'm getting you right. It's like you just couldn't agree with the way some of the things were being done.
Definitely. I've come to Zambia to make a difference. I'm not here for jokes. Look, I can make a lot of money in the city of New York and in the city of London. I've got great investments there. So, I've worked hard throughout my life. I've made a lot of investments there and my businesses are there. But just to, take a break and come to Zambia to fight with the people in Bwana Mkubwa for change which they deserve. It's a great privilege, and I've learned a lot from the people of Bwana Mkubwa. And I promised them I want to get the job done. So I'll stay with the people of Bwana Mkubwa. I mean, wherever I'll go in the world, I'll tell their story of how they're suffering, and we'll raise millions of dollars for development in the constituency of Bwana Mkubwa. It will never be the same. I won't let you down.
Awesome. You are live on the Voice of the Apostles, live on Dream Center, and we are talking to Honorable Herbert Mwale, who is standing as a member of parliament under Bwana Mkubwa. So let's get into the main meal. We've been dealing with the starter, we've been dealing with the trying to get ourselves ready for the appetite. Now we're gonna get into the nitty and gritties, and the question pops up. You are standing as a member of parliament for Bwana Mkubwa, amongst other people who are also standing as members of parliament. What are your plans for Bwana Mkubwa?
Well, I think I am one of the candidates who's standing, who has great plans for the constituency of Bwana Mkubwa. My plans, let's start with first, okay? The biggest challenge this constituency is facing, okay, is the shortage of water. So, urban area and the rural area, okay? Bwana Mkubwa is right now in a mess because of underinvestment, okay? So what do I need to do to bring this investment in Bwana Mkubwa? If you look at the farming area right now, from Chiwara right to the borders with Rwanda there, you talk about commercial farmers. There's nothing there, okay, due to lack of water, okay? We have, I've had a chance to look at Kafue Waterworks, which is a limited company, private companies. It's responsible for the water. I think, okay, they need to reform this company, okay? We have commissioned the Kaflafta Dam at a cost of 500 million United States dollars, okay? This project is in trouble, okay? I think this project will cost us over £1 billion as we go towards the next decade. What are my plans for that? I want to lobby the government to scrap this project. This project is a waste of money and it's going to drain more resources which this country don't have. Well, what are my plans for the water? Bwana Mkubwa is so special. We have the mine at Bwana Mkubwa there. This mine is so special. It's incredible. It's got first grade copper, number one. Second, this mine has a lot of water. The whole pit is full of water. So if you can imagine, all we need is $100,000 to build a water plant and tanks and pumps, and this will connect all the water resources throughout Bwana Mkubwa. That's just on health, on water. If you move to the roads are in a mess, okay? If you have a car, it won't last 2-3 months, okay? It will break down because of the roads are really impassable. In the rainy season, most areas are not a go area. So what's my plans for the roads? If I just take you back to Lusaka, thanks very much. President Edgar Lungu, Your Excellency, you've done very well in Lusaka for the people of Lusaka, etc. My question to you, Your Excellency, is when are you going to bring this development to the Copper Belt, especially to my constituency here in Bwana Mkubwa? I want to know this answer, and I'm trying to find out if I can speak to the president in the remaining 9 days. You look at health, okay? Health, we've got a major issue. Okay, all the health centers are ill-equipped. Some of them have no water, maternity wings, they have no water, there's no medicine, and people just go into these health centers, they're being given prescriptions and all sorts of things. They can't afford this medicine, okay? So me, I've taken it on. Even before the elections, I've had a lot of medicine donated from my white colleagues in the United Kingdom. Thank you very much for donating the medicine, sanitizers, and the masks for the people of Bwana Mkubwa. Okay, I want to keep this up, keep probing these people in the United States to make more donations. Okay, so that's in terms of the health. Schools are a mess. Okay, we have COVID-19, which is shut down the schools. So what do I intend to do for the school children who are lacking behind? Okay, I've been talking to my colleagues in Europe and the United States. I've grown up with them. I've supported their governments. I want to have laptops, computers, and smartphones for the children of Bwana Mkubwa so they can be learning online. Otherwise, they're lacking behind. Okay, so I've talked to a number of people in these places, and I just want these things to come back. So I'll be coming back to Europe. My purpose is to lobby funds for the people of Bwana Mkubwa, so I can develop these areas in terms of health, this and that. I mean, mostly roads and the water problems, so we can have proper irrigation systems for the farmers and then domestic. So I really have great plans for the people of Bwana Mkubwa. And for the first time in the history of this constituency, century.
Awesome. You are listening to the Voice of the Opposers on a program called Think, Pray, and Vote. Remember to share that link on YouTube, Gets of Glory, and continue to comment. Remember, we're speaking to Honorable Herbert Mwale, who is standing in Bwana Mkubwa, and he's offloading the plans that he has for Bwana Mkubwa. So I'm going to pick out one of the points that you said you want to seriously look into when it comes to the issue of making the water available. And you highlighted that the government has a program in order to make sure that the whole Bwana Mkubwa has a water supply, and that is a cost of $500 million. Did I quote you right? Sure. Yes. And against that, you think you have a better plan which will only cost you $100 million, $100,000. I got you right. So my question then comes in. So your intention is to counterattack the $500 million and bring in the $100,000 project. The question is, do you have the capacity to get that money in?
Yes, of course.
Is your intention to still get that a part of the money that they are planning? So instead of it being a $500 million, you can actually bring in a plan where they reduce it to that, or is this like they can take away that $500 million and then I'm gonna bring in the $100,000? Is what's the
as you heard me, thank you, Trish. As you heard me in my introduction, I've been working for the British government, where I've been running, a budget of 74 billion pounds. Okay, so when you look at 500 million United States dollar, this is nothing compared to the budgets I've run, and I know how to run big budgets. Okay, so what I'm saying to the people of Bwana Mkubwa, we don't want money wasted in just money going down the drain. Okay, if we stop this project now, it will save millions of dollars for the people of Zambia, not only the people of Bwana Mkubwa. So what am I saying? I'm pleading with any government coming in, or the who will continue after the election next week. I want this project to be scrapped. Look at the project, okay? $2 million paid upfront to a Chinese contractor. They are Zambian contractors, okay? The people who are displaced from these farms have never been compensated. So there are legal issues now, right now in courts, which means this project cannot proceed until the judiciary in Zambia decide the way forward, okay? Now, we already have water. We don't have to dig for the water at Bwana Mkubwa mine, okay? Let's bring this mine back in the government hands. Let's build a water plant. And this will take as little as 2 months. But look at the results, okay? We have the farming community, which is dormant in the dry season, okay? I've got a farm there behind Indian there. I've been talking to other farmers. Just one of their big problems, there's no water for irrigation. They can't put up irrigation system, but the water is less than, the distance from Bwana Mkubwa mine to all the farming area is small. Now, look at the bigger picture for the country. We can bring this water and we can service Central Province and the whole of Copper Belt Province from one mine in Bwana Mkubwa. So why are we not doing this? Why are we wasting money, which this country don't have? Let's look at the Americans. Zambia has defaulted on the debt right now. And President Biden is busy contemplating imposing sanctions. Well, the people in my constituency, Mackenzie, Kantolomba, Chichele, okay, Kaloko, these are the poorest people in the world. They can't afford the interest on these debt. I plead with you, President Biden, cancel the Zambian debt. I'll be coming to see you whether I'm elected or not to fight for you to cancel this Zambian debt because it's just punishing poor people in my constituency. Okay, so these are some of the things, Trish, I'm talking about.
I'm getting excited about this, but the clarity I want to get is if we scrap off this $500 million a project. Are we scrapping it off with the intention that they reserve their $100,000 projects to go in and still we have water? Or this is like them literally taking the whole $5 million away and then you bring in your own investment?
Sure. Look, Trish, as I've said, I still have a lot of investments in Europe. I'm one of the most successful Black guys there in Europe. I've done projects in Spain. I've done projects in Eastern Europe. I've got projects in America. Right now, these projects are running. Okay, and what am I saying to the people when I'm Mkubwa? Look, okay, I know the Zambian government cannot solve these problems, but I'll crusade for you as I've promised you. Whether you elect me or not, I will stay with you. So I'll go back knocking on doors of my fellow investors in Europe. I helped them. I helped the British government. I helped the Spanish government. I want to help my people. It's their turn now to come back and help my people who are suffering. So we will get the investments from abroad. Okay, we won't rely on the Zambian government.
Okay, so the guarantee you have to get this $100,000 to get the water running in the whole area of Bwana Mkubwa is that you have a relationship, you've worked with them, and now it's time for them to pay back. Is that a guarantee? The fact that you helped me, then I should also help you, or is this coming with something that is backing it to say, okay, Honorable Herbert, yes, he's got this plan, it's a good plan. What if you go there, Honorable, and then they tell you they won't help you? And then we've scrapped off the $500 million project and saying it won't go through. That's the plan I want. I would like the people out there, even as they are putting Herbert into parliament, they have an understanding, because obviously $500 million is a lot of money. And like you've said, you can save it and it can take this nation to another level if we had to appropriate that money to another place. But if we were to scrap that out, and then we don't have any guarantee that your $100 million will come in, because we would have saved 400 if I'm calculating that right. We would have saved 400, which could have taken us to another level in economically. The question is, are you just betting this based on the relationship that you have with the people, or is there an understanding that you can actually work with? Because what this will do, Honorable, is that when people see that there's a better offer, they'll definitely push in to say, this is what we would prefer to go that way. But what guarantee is there that this thing can actually work other than your word against theirs?
Sure. Look, the people of Bwana Mkubwa, Trish, I've been going through the words, okay? That's why they nicknamed me Americano. Americano gets things done, okay? When I was in UPND, I spoke to my colleagues, why are we not doing projects, okay? I remember one of my colleagues said, look, the PF government will shut you down. They won't allow you to do the project. I went there to Kaloko. I saw the councillor there. He's a PF guy. I spoke to him, okay? I said, look, we need to paint the markets. We need to correct rubbish in the community, and we need to paint the schools because they're filthy. We can't let our children learning in degrading conditions. Then he ushered me to speak to the chairman. Who was the chairman? Which party does he belong to? He belongs to PF. So we made an agreement so that we can work there. The only thing they asked me, when you're working, don't wear party regalia, as these are community projects.
Okay.
I accepted. So I went there. I've done these. I've done rubbish collection in Kaloko. I've painted schools. I've painted the market. And I'm the only candidate who started digging toilets at Mushiri, which is run by this PF government. I spoke to the chairman and I started constructing the toilets. They came to join me. So look, I want opposition parties to work with the government. When the government does a good job, thank you very much to the government. When the government does a bad job, like in Kaflafuta, we will point it out. So look, what I'm saying to the people of Bwana Mkubwa, I've got businesses there, okay? $400,000. If my colleagues don't put up the money, I'll bring the money from my businesses and we'll open the water plant there, okay? So this is a guarantee to the people of Bwana Mkubwa. It's not 400 million which we're gonna save. The cost of the project at Bwana Mkubwa water plant, I've done by costing. I've got a background in accountancy.
Okay.
So it's 100,000 US dollars, not even a million. Okay, look at the amount of money which will be saved. Farmers are crying for fertilizers. Hospitals are in a mess. There's no medicine. We can't even pay better wages for teachers and people who are working in the health sector. So what am I saying to the people of Bwana Mkubwa? I, Americano, will fix things. That's why I'm here in Zambia. I'm not here for jokes. I'm here to come and fix your community and leave this place a better place, and we'll get this done. Okay, so how about the people I'm working with? The people who supported me on my political journey here in Zambia. Look, from the 13th of August, 2012, just one day after the election, to the 12th August, 2031, we are launching a charity which will empower women, the youth, and all these people who have retired, they have no pensions, will get them to contribute to the society, will support them financially through the charity, and will do this NGO will cover a lot of these projects which cannot be done. Digging boreholes, we can get these things done. Do we need Chinese contractors? No. There are Zambians there who are drinking chibuku and dancing to Chandanake. I mean, what do we need to do? We need to get these guys back to work. Come on, we're a great nation. Let's develop our own nation. Thank you very much.
I love that. I love that. Okay. The point is, I was trying to look at the convincing on a bilateral form.
Sure.
So from the people's perspective,
Sure.
obviously you've done a great job. You've been there. They've seen you hands-on.
Sure.
This is the guy working for the people. Then when I talk about bilateral, I'm
Sure.
talking about the people
Sure.
that you are promising and the ones that are now going to facilitate to make sure this happens. Which are your people, the people outside who you are saying you've worked with a lot of people from the UK, and they are definitely going to come to your aid and give it. And this is where now I want people to settle from.
Sure.
If your surety is based on the friendship that you have with the people in the UK, there's also a possibility that they may not budge.
Sure.
So that is where anybody, even myself, if I stay in Bwana Mkubwa, I would look at you and I say, I trust Honorable Herbert. He's a good man. He's working. He's got the right motive. He's got everything. The only problem I have is when it comes to the issue of implementation, where it comes to the issue of funding. Can you guarantee the people that you can go to the UKs and get that money done and the work can be done?
Yes. Look, Trish, what I'm saying to the people of Bwana Mkubwa, for the first time in the history of this country, Americano here is not here for jokes. Americano is here to get things done. I've inspired so many people who've heard me speak, and they've seen me getting things done already before we even came to the election. I'm one of the candidates who have done so many projects since I've been here in Zambia. So let's go back to the UK. What I'm saying to the British people and the British government is, look, Mr. Boris Johnson, I worked in those departments, I grafted and I helped so many millions of people in the United Kingdom. I'm sure, look, the population of Zambia is just under 24 million. I mean, just part of that foreign aid budget, okay? We can get things done here, okay? Now, you are right, Trish. COVID-19 has affected the whole world. If I may turn to that, a lot of people, industries have closed around the world. In the United Kingdom, so many people have lost work. And I know the government priority now is to look at their own people, okay? They've been debating to cut the foreign aid budget, okay? So what am I going to do if all these options don't work? You see, I'm one of those guys who has got great plans, okay? So I'll just sell off some of my investments and develop this community constituency of Bwana Mkubwa. This is a small area. When you look at foreign exchange, okay, the kwacha is depreciating every day, okay, and it will continue. And so if you have got, 500,000 pounds, it's a lot of money which can develop the community. We need to manage these resources. So we will manage them and put the resources to better use, okay? So what I'm saying to you, Trish, and our viewers out there, look, I can't do this alone, okay? Look, we've got so many youth just sitting idling. I mean, some women just dancing in bars, drinking. Why? Because they have no option. We've got Cantolomba. You go in there, they're blowing cachasso and everything. I've told the people, what will it take for you to stop brewing this illicit beer? Yeah. They've told me, if you find us an alternative, you empower us, we'll stop this. So, look, there's good things about the Zambian people, okay? And I want to see these Zambian youth. With a shortage of secondary schools there in Bwana Mkubwa, the NGO I'm setting up, it will send your children to Australia. We'll find places in America, Canada. There are so many secondary schools there looking for people. Universities, same thing applies to universities. There are a lot of people who are just here trying to get a place in the university. They can't find it. We can take these children around the world and sponsor them, okay? And we are going to produce a better nation, okay? When we have a lot of people, who've learned and they've had that exposure in, abroad. So they'll bring the knowledge like I've done. I brought a lot of knowledge back to Zambia.
Awesome. You are live on Dream Center TV on the Voice of the Apostles. Please, if you are watching, I know this is an exciting topic. So I'm hoping you are sending those texts, you are commenting, and you are reserving the questions, because at the end of this program, we really want to answer all the questions that you have for Honorable Herbert Americano in the house, and he's drilling this stuff. So please just feel free to ask any questions that you have. The man is here, he's thrown himself, and he's ready to serve you. You mentioned one interesting subject on the issue of dates. And you said that you have intentions to go and see Biden as the president and begin to argue your case on how this debt must be cancelled. Okay, so now I'm relating this story. Okay, imagine you have gone to the government and you tell them, scrap this 500. I don't need it. And I'm just trying to imagine the relationship that you have with the government at that moment. And then now you take another step and you enter into the United States of America and you begin to negotiate. How effective do you think that plan would be if, as you begin, are you going there on a personal entity? Because I think I heard you say whether I'm chosen in power or not, I'm coming for you, Biden, and I'm coming to argue my case. So I'm just trying to understand the realistic part of it and the dynamic attached to that. You're following me, Honorable. I
Sure.
hope I'm not losing you.
No.
So if the adventure you do manage to scrap off this $500 million project and they tell you go ahead, and then we still have this issue of debt
Sure.
that has to be dealt with, and your approach and your strategy according to the explanation you were giving is you intend to go and see Biden and begin to negotiate. How possible is that, sir?
Look, the people in Bwana Mkubwa there, they didn't just give me the name Americano because they've seen this is the guy, this is the guy, this is guy
Okay,
who
I'm
gets
loving
things
this
done.
time.
Okay, now I've looked at all the literature from this Kafubu Waterworks. I don't know who has shares in this company. I mean, I don't know who is the director of this company, but he has a lot of explaining to the people of Ndola. We have no water in most places, and he's closed water in places like hospitals. I mean, this is a disgrace. Let's look at the information obtained from this Kafubu Waterworks.
Mhm.
I understand from this information the loan for Kaflafuta Dam, which was supposed to service Ndola, Masaiti, Luansha, and Impongwe. These are the 4 towns which have been cited for this 500 million project, right? This project at 500 million US dollars, there's interest there on the debt. Okay, so look at the west part of the project. Immediately before I don't know what terms and conditions are for this loan. 2 million kwacha was given to a Chinese contractor as part of the deal. This is a raw deal for the people of Zambia. Okay, why didn't the government in Zambia pay $2 million to a Zambian company to construct this? I mean, this is unimaginable. So these are the dynamics of what I'm saying to the people of Bwana Mkubwa. Okay,
I'll just pause you there. So why didn't they give that 2 million to the Zambian people? Looking at the capacity, do you think Zambians are equal to that task?
Of course, look, we've got great engineers in this. This is a great country. We've got a lot of educated people, okay? Why we need these people to be moving in the right direction, okay? I, for one, Americano, work with you, okay? You get these contracts in Bwana Mkubwa, Zambian first, okay? You heard that, right? Zambians first. Okay, we have Zambian contractors, engineering company, which have just closed and people have just disappeared, doing nothing. So I want to bring these graduates back on the table. We get the engineering departments moving in the right direction. Okay, $2 million upfront. What can a Zambian company do? They can buy the capital equipment to construct a dam there. So what we're saying is, look, there is this Kaflafta Dam project is in serious trouble. Why? We have this project on hold. However, the Chinese bank still needs their money back within the terms of the loan. So they have to be paid the interest every month. That interest, okay, we have children who are not going to school, children of orphans, we have a shortage of housing, we have no water in most household, domestic, commercial, farming areas is in a mess. Look, just the interest can develop this Bwana Mkubwa constituency, okay? This water project is a mess. It's in serious trouble. Let's stop it before it costs us a lot of money. And let's give that money to the health workers and the teachers and bring in other things which the money can be used to which money can be put to better use, just paying interest to a Chinese bank for a dormant project. This is a no-go area.
So from your analysis, the government seems to be wasting a lot of money on projects when there's an alternative.
Sure.
Where we can actually spend less but still get quality instead of accumulating more debts.
Sure.
Which automatically brings me now to the next question about how you intend to deal with the issue of debt with Biden, the point you brought up.
Well, as I've said, from 13th of August 2031, the people of Bwana Mkubwa were not going to let you down. We will stay with you. That's the difference with Americano, okay? I'm staying with you. So I'll take a delegation of people from all sectors of the community, the police, the army, the teachers, the thing. We'll sit down on a table and brainstorm, okay? Then 30 of us will travel there to the White House to go and speak to Mr. His Excellency President Biden. I know he's just been in office for a short period of time, but I will put this on his agenda, okay? So we'll go and talk to Mr. Biden. Say, look, here are the people of Kantolomba. Here are the people of Mackenzie. These are shanty compounds in Zambia. Chichele, okay? These people, Mr. Biden, and there are so many areas in Zambia, they cannot afford to pay this debt. So if you scrap off this debt, it will give us a breathing space. Okay. So we can develop this country, because if Zambia is defaulting on paying this debt, what is the point of the President Biden imposing sanctions? The political elite are not going to suffer. It's the people in my constituency who will suffer. So I am coming to speak to President Biden with my entourage. We want to lobby the president and the people of the United States of America, and the same applies to European governments, okay? You are not off the hook. We are in serious trouble here, okay? We can't afford to pay the interest on these debts, okay? We have the Chinese as well loading more debts on Zambia. We can't afford this interest, okay? So what will it take for us to develop without getting these huge loans, okay? My plan is, I've got my Spanish lawyer there lobbying the Spanish government. So what I'm saying to the Spanish government is, look, I know you've got good technology there, okay? Is it okay if I use Spanish?
Let's speak Spanish. You're the only one who understands that Spanish, though. Okay,
Americano speak Spanish. Hola, buenas tardes. Todo gente
I
en
only know
España.
hasta la vista. I don't know if that's Spanish at all.
No. Hola, gente en España. Aquí
you are live on
es,
Dream Center. You have Americano in the house. Please make sure that you are writing those messages and asking every question, because Americano will be live. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I know.
Just let me make this point,
okay.
Trish.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
Before I lose track of the point I was trying to make.
Okay.
Anyway, me and my Spanish lawyer, we trying to lobby the Spanish government. They've got the best technology in terms of solar panels. Okay. Since the farming area in Bwana Mkubwa is dormant, we can put solar panels in those farms and we'll have no load shedding, which is another problem here. So these are the ideas. But instead of us going to get another 500 million US dollar loan, I'm asking the Spanish government to give us grants to the people of Bwana Mkubwa. So these grants are not payable back. It's money which we use to develop the community. Of course, we'll be auditing and monitoring them where the money is going. Because, within the next 10 years, my NGO, this is the beauty about my NGO. So it can lobby for funds, okay, on a non-political basis. And we can develop this. I'm very confident we'll develop this community of Bwana Mkubwa.
Awesome. Please make sure you are writing those comments and sending your questions, and share your link on YouTube. Gets of Glory. Your intention is to get the delegates of who are representing Bwana Mkubwa, Mackenzie, and everything. But if I were Biden, and you are coming here and you're asking me to to cancel this date.
Sure.
First of all, I think when that money was being given, it wasn't being given in the name of an individual. It was given to the government.
Sure.
So there must be a cultural responsibility to the
Sure.
government. So how possible is it that this issue of Biden even beginning to consider, even if he looks at a young child with mucus coming from his nose and poo and everything, the consequence is that there was a leader who was responsible for this, and I cannot let someone who made the decision get away with what they plunged me into just because somebody is suffering. There has to be someone who must take responsibility. It's like I go to the bank,
Sure.
and I get money. I give them all the assurance that I will pay back. And then, I don't know what I was getting myself into. And then I go and bring my child.
Sure.
And say, look, because of this child, I can't pay back. The bank will say, this is not about the child. This is
Sure.
about you who got the loan, and you're supposed to be responsible over this matter. So I'm just looking at the reality of, even if you carried the 30 delegates, by the way, concerning the 30 delegates, who intends to sponsor all those 30 people to go to the United States to negotiate for our dates? Sure. That's point number one. And then point number two is how effective do you really think that Biden can barge in just because Mackenzie is poor, when there should be some people who should be held responsible to pay that debt? Sure. You all, if you tell me if you get a loan, you have to pay it back. Whether somebody is dead or they are not responsible or they were careless, you give Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Sure. So I'm just trying to get you to that reality, like, how do you intend to do this, Honorable, to make sure that it is delivered and executed accordingly?
Sure. Well, you spoke about the 30 delegates to go to the United States. Look, I mean, I can sponsor this trip myself, just to answer your question in short. Coming back to President Biden and the Prime Minister, Mr. Boris Johnson of the United Kingdom, the Prime Minister of Spain, and other presidents in Europe. Look, what I'm saying to these, Trish, let me just take you back.
Yeah.
Before the Eastern Bloc countries became in the European Union, okay, we had very poor countries like Romania and Bulgaria. I've got a house there in the Black Sea. Great people, great country. And okay, these people, they used to offer bursaries to Zambian students. Just imagine, these were poor countries. Their people needed that money, but they came to the aid of a lot of Zambian students who are sponsored to study in those countries. I've met some of these students who are still there, living in Romania. I mean, some of them might even be listening to us. Bunasera, that is good afternoon there, in Romanian. Okay, so what I'm saying to this government is, look, okay, we are in serious trouble as the Western world has been very much affected with COVID-19. The impact of this disease hasn't yet been felt hard in this part of the world. I mean, the financial impact. So if these developed nations, the G7, knows what is happening for this COVID-19 illness, okay, so they will listen to us. Okay, you see, my job, okay, as I'm in opposition now, I'm not in the government.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
as an independent candidate, I know people say, look, you don't have mayor, this and that. All this is nothing. My job is to hold the government to account. As you said, you took the loan, you get this loan paid back.
Mm-hmm.
No, okay, the government in Zambia has got so many projects. They're building hospitals here, there, and the other. They're trying, but they can't solve these problems alone. So my job is to work with any incoming government, if I'm elected or not elected in the in the coming elections is to sit down with any incoming government and see what I can contribute, and to go and be an ambassador for the people of Bwana Mkubwa. But look, the beauty about the NGO, I know it's not just the people there in Bwana Mkubwa who are suffering. We're going to roll this program throughout Zambia. Yes, we can start questioning, who took this loan and try to, but that won't solve our problem. We want to find solutions to the current situation in Zambia. We still have a lot of land. We still have a lot of resources, which, if well managed, Zambia will be debt-free. But we need to start on, on a strong footing. Look, Trish, I've been educated with these people I'm talking about. It's not that people I don't know. I'm just going there with a delegation. We don't even know where we're going. No. I've been educated with these people. I've worked on projects with these people. Some of them were doing great projects right there in Europe and the States. Okay. So these people are always talking to me. Okay. At the end of the day, I want to get things done for the people of Zambia. Let us not put ourselves down. Okay. We have a great country. We've got great resources. Let's manage them very well. Okay. But we cannot, the truth of the matter is, we cannot afford to sit back and let just interest killing our children. A lot of young people are dying in hospital from all sorts of illnesses apart from COVID, killing old people. Look, another biggest problem, maybe you haven't seen this. Anyway, the problem of pension. It's a mess. You've got, I don't know, these naps of what. Most of people haven't even got their pension. Some of people just die because they can't get these pensions. So people in Zambia are working until they die because they can't afford to retire. How are they going to feed themselves? So we're coming in with great plans and great ideas. During the next parliament, things will be different because we'll be holding people to account. Like you say, Trish, awesome. We want to hold people to account. Where this money gone? Is this the best way to spend the money? Okay. If we're spending money on national debt, buying these vehicles, look, I had a chance to look at the fire department. They bought these fire engines, $42 million. US dollars, one fire engine, 1 million. Guys, come on, let's take a break and look at the bigger picture. Let's step back and look at the bigger picture. 1 million for a fire engine, which costs less than 50,000. Come on, this is what we are talking about, Trish. We will hold these people to account because Americano is back and he asks questions, tough questions. Where are the money going? How did you spend this money? Where are we going to get the interest to pay for these fire engines, which are redundant? Some of them are just rotting in fire stations. Anyway, we want to get this country in the right direction. Okay. Another area, Bwana Mkubwa has got farming. I know there are 2 airports in Ndola. Okay. Folks, we've got a new airport, and the old airport is going to be transferred to Zambia Air Force. I want to plead with Zambia Air Force, okay, to keep that airport open for cargo planes. Why? I have the market in London, Paris, Madrid, Barcelona. We want to export our farming produce. Our farming produce is so good. So we want to teach farmers how to export things so they can earn that needed foreign exchange.
Wow, my time is almost up, and we are coming to the concluding of this program, and then we will see if we can handle some questions. So. Sure. Maybe in the next 2 minutes or 3 minutes, sell yourself out there. Bwana Mkubwa is listening, and all the people around. Why should they vote? If you can find the easiest way to compress everything that you have said, I'm gonna give you 2 minutes or 3 minutes max, and then we get into the questions, because I've seen questions are flashing, and then we want to see if we can also handle that, because we also have another interview coming right after this one. Honorable Herbert, over to you.
Thank you very much. Okay, look, my name is Herbert Mwale. I'm Americano. I've come here to work with you. Okay, my symbol is the tractor. 12th August, vote Americano. What are you voting for? Okay, you're voting for jobs. You're voting for investment. You're voting for a good health system. You're voting for better roads. You're voting for so many things, empowerments to the youth. We'll get all these youth off the streets. We'll put them to work. Okay. I've got great ideas. Okay. Not only that, I know where to get the funding. If the government cannot give us the funding, I'll get the funding for the people of Mkubwa. And this is a guarantee to you. I won't leave you. As you've seen, we've got a 10-year program coming as an NGO from 13th of August 2021 to 12th August 2031. So why not vote for Americano? All these leaders have failed you in Bwana Mkubwa. Look at your industries are closing. Okay, Indian is at the brink of closing. We've got Tazama pipeline, non-existent. You know, a pipeline going all the way to Tanzania, not being operation, millions of dollars. We don't want this. Bwana Mkubwa mine shut. You got Ndola Copper Refinery, Dunlop, all these. Now you have all the warehouses for trucks there. I want to get these industries going, and I'll be there with the people of Bwana Mkubwa. So vote Americano, you'll get the better deal. Thank you very much.
Awesome. That was Honorable Herbert Mwale standing on Bwana Mkubwa ticket. He is pushing it to stand as the member of parliament. So we do have questions. Let's see if we can get into the questions before we wrap it up. Am I able to see properly though the camera? Okay. The question is, please tell us clearly, are you looking at contracting another debt or what? Avena Biden Ngushe Mwale Shivanana Ngushani. Okay, I'm learning Bemba. Wow, I'm so excited. So they are asking the next, we will answer 3 questions at a go.
Sure.
If there's another one. Oh, 2. Okay. So the other one is, how can we trust you with that video we saw about you with the girl in the lodge? Okay.
Thank you very much. We got the first question was from what was the first question from? Victor.
I'm not too sure about but they were asking.
Okay. Yo Weli Mwanza. Okay,
Yes.
that's the first question.
Yes.
No, to answer your question, Wari, thank you very much for sending the question. Well, the first thing you have to understand is I'm not looking to contract another debt to put a burden on Zambian people. Okay. So what I want to do is go and lobby for grants. This is money we're not going to pay back. I don't want us to have interest to, you know, to burden our country. Okay. I know there's been a lot of coming to the second question. I hope I've answered your question very clearly, but if you haven't, you can send into the studio your question and I can reply back in writing. Okay, if you are not satisfied with my answer. The next question, I know it's been this talk about, you know, this girl, the videos, and a lot of stuff has been written about this story. Look, what I'm saying is, if you come to Bwana Mkubwa, I'm tough on crime. That's why I'm called Americano, okay? We want to help young people get back to work and empower them, okay? The video about this girl does not exist, okay? And all these stories which are fabricated by the media are fake because, okay, I don't want to dwell in a lot of legal issues which are being handled by the judiciary. But I can say this, okay? This same girl you're talking about, okay? When we reported the crime to the police took action, she was arrested. And as far as I know, she's going through the process and she's been in jail. So where all these stories are coming from? This is why I haven't commented on the story. Because, I mean, as far as I know, the police did their job, okay? I'm a supporter of the Zambia police. I want them to be the best force in the world. Just because I'm standing as an MP, it doesn't mean people have got the right to come and steal my product. Same goes to my supermarket. If you steal there, we'll help the police and we'll prosecute you. So the video does not exist. Someone just put on that video. And most of the stories which have been written, I'm afraid they are false.
Okay. We have one more question, sure. And it is saying, we hope that even as you are talking about voting for you, that's how much you will fulfill all these promises. we are hearing. Wishing you luck. That's just actually a comment. The other question is, do you have a direct relationship with Biden?
Well, I've got a direct relationship with, like I said, I've worked for the most successful government in Europe, in the United Kingdom for many years. This is where I got the experience to deal with issues. Okay. I don't have a direct relationship with Joe Biden, but hey, we're going to get this debt cancelled. That's a guarantee. We're going to get other European debts cancelled. Okay. Look, come to Bwana Mkubwa. I take you to Kangonga. This is a center for the blind people. Okay. You would cry being there. Okay. These people have been forgotten. These are the forgotten people. Americano will fix this. You've heard on Radio Chimwemwe me making programs about this, going around the constituency and highlighting the problem with people. We're blind people. All their warehouses, factories closed. Come on, guys. We can't live in a society like this. So this is what Americano is going to do. I don't have because there are new governments around Europe, but hey, I am going to be lobbying throughout Europe. You've got an ambassador in Americano. We'll bring the investment to this country.
Thank you very much. You have been listening to the Voice of the Apostles Think, Pray, and Vote program, where we were hosting Honorable Herbert Mwale. And the last question is, what if you don't win? And that's your concluding. We close it up from there. They just want to hear, what if you don't win? Do you still continue to talk to Biden about your project?
Yes, if I don't win, I mean, look, what I've said is from 13th of August 2021 to 12th August 2031, we are launching an NGO. This will be rolled out throughout Zambia so we can tackle the problems with this. I already have a ticket, folks, to go and see Joe Biden. So I'll be flying to come and see President Joe Biden and Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Even if I don't get through the elections, I'll be Americano, will be sitting on the table with you negotiating on cancelling this crippling debt. And the Spanish government will be lobbying you for grants to give to the people of Zambia who cannot afford to pay these loans. We don't want any more loans. Let's ask for grants and give it to the people. Let's empower the people. We want to see huge corporations here in Mkubwa and the rest of Zambia. And I'll be your ambassador. With whatever I've learned, I'm going to pass it to you.
Well, thank you very much, Honorable. It was such an honor to have you on the Voice of the Apostles. And 9 days from now, come the 12th of August, make sure you go and click on the Tractor Americano. He has it for you, Bwana Mkubwa, and he's laid it all out. Remember that the whole idea of this program is to get you thinking, praying, and voting rightly for the right person. And so thank you for all the people who've been contributing and listening to us. We wish you a pleasant evening. And I know another segment will be coming up. So stay tuned. And thank you very much, Honorable. It was good having you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.